Hi Scorpio, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel, and also happy early birthday to those of you celebrating October. This is your October 2021 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who like, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, we have a Celtic Coral spread as always, and I also pulled an Oracle card and a Mudra card for you guys, but we're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus will be as far as that goes. So, let's see what we get. All right, so we have Capricorn, that's your third house communication, and we have Pluto there, which is your ruler, and it's going to be going direct in October. We have Uranus, and that's actually in your opposite sign of Taurus, which is the house of relationships, partnerships. And we have 11, which is your house of friendships, which is actually Virgo, and at the time I'm recording this, we're just wrapping up Virgo season, but yeah, friendships, groups, hopes, and wishes could be a connection there. All right, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. In the main situation position, we have the Ace of Wands. So the Ace energies, especially in this deck, always come across to me as an idea, a desire for something fresh, a fresh start in something. We always see that hand coming out of the cloud, so I feel like it's more an idea as opposed to you actually taking action on something. But yeah, it looks like you're definitely getting some ideas. Could just be due to the fact that we have Mars in your 12th house, so that could have your imagination flowing a bit more. You can have the Mercury retrograde there for a good portion of October too in your 12th house, and obviously the Sun, so plenty of activity going on in your 12th house, so it would make sense where you might get a lot of ideas during that time, but you know, taking action might be the more difficult part for the time being. All right, in the Challenger obstacle position, we have the King of Cups. So this is actually the court card for your energy, and it could just be saying that you guys might be getting in your own way around the situation, right? Now, timing-wise, like I said, so maybe this is something you've had an idea about for a while now, and in that regard, maybe it's saying that you might have been overdue to actually take action on it. But astrologically speaking, if this truly is a fresh idea of yours, you might actually have a good idea to wait on that a little bit and wait as we get closer to November, which is going to be, you know, you have the Sun in your sign, then Mars will be in your sign, so those are really good energies to actually take action. So it could just be one of those things where maybe you're instinctively feeling like, okay, this might be a good time to just think this idea through and then actually take action on it during November. All right. In the foundation position, we have the 9 of Pentacles, Virgo energy, and the 10 of Wands, Sagittarius energy. So we see that 11th house energy popping up for you guys there, along with 2nd house energy. So it's interesting to see these two things. The first thing that comes to mind looking at these two cards is I feel like this might be the image that you have on the surface right now. Like everything's fine, right? You're enjoying yourselves. You probably do have some level of abundance, but beneath the surface, it might have taken you a lot to get there, right? So it could just be one of those things where people on the outside looking in might think that it comes easy to you, right? Where they might see you in this stage, but they don't see all the work that went through behind the scenes for you to get there. That's one way it could be coming across. Another way could just be saying that you might be presenting on the surface that you're really doing well on a lot of things, but really you're kind of struggling, but, you know, maybe just a bit prideful to ask for help. And that could be what that Ace of Wands is pointing to as well, where maybe you're looking for a way to lighten your load, but again, with that King of Cups energy, you might just be standing in your way a bit in that regard. So I see it playing out either of those two ways. In the past position, we have the Queen of Wands. So this is Aries energy here. So for some of you, it could just be as simple as saying that as we're moving through Libra season, you might be thinking back to something that took place during Aries season. You know, now you might be looking at it from a different perspective, which tends to happen when we go to the opposite sign of a certain energy. You get to see things from an opposite perspective. For others of you, it could just be saying that you might have been putting a lot of energy toward your work, given that for you guys, Aries is 6th house energy. And now, like I said, with Mars, which is the ruler of Aries and the ancient ruler of Scorpio too, moving through your 12th house, you might just be thinking back on a lot of these things and trying to revise, scheduling things along those lines, your routines. That's what I'm seeing there. Now, this could also play out where, if this is your energy, we see the Queen of Wands, which is queens or feminine energy, but then that you have that masculine Mars energy, right? King of Cups. Kings are masculine energy, but then the cups are more of a feminine energy. So it could just be saying that you might have been a bit out of balance trying to get a hold of your masculine and feminine sides as well. Let's see, especially since she's looking right at the King of Cups. And of course, it could be someone else you've been dealing with too. And they might be going through that same struggle. In the present position, we have the Strength card, which is the Major Arcana card for Leo, and the Eight of Swords. So on the one hand, this could be a similar thing to what I was saying with the foundation, where on the surface you might be looking like you're doing just fine, right? But underneath it all, there could be a lot of anxiety, a lot of worrying, a lot of, just feeling like you're struggling a bit with everything going on around you. And maybe a reluctance to reach out to ask for help, maybe even a reluctance to even know what your next step should be, right? But for others of you, this could just be saying that you're keeping some things under wraps. You might have that idea, again, going back to the Ace of Wands energy, like, okay, this is the direction I want to take, right? But just instinctively, intuitively feeling like, okay, now might not be the time. And we did talk about the astrology that would point to you possibly being on to something and feeling that way. But that's what I'm seeing there. And for you guys, Leo energy is your 10th house too. So this could be something that you could be considering bringing out into the public eye. All right. In the near future position, we have the Tower in reverse. Someone else got this card in reverse and in the same position too. I want to say maybe it was Aquarius, Libra, or Cancer. I don't know. Definitely one of those signs. So if you guys have placements in that chart, in your chart with one of those signs as well, or you're dealing with someone with one of those placements, definitely check out their reading. Because, I mean, for it to come up in reverse in both readings and in the same position, that's highly unlikely. But yeah, if you're going to have the Tower, it is better to have it in reverse, of course. So this could just be saying that maybe through your inaction, you might be avoiding a possible disaster. So again, this might actually be your instinctive, intuitive side coming through to your advantage, to where maybe you know if you act now, it might not be the best time, right? Like I said, for some of you, it could just be as simple as the fact that we have the Mercury retrograde, right? So things might not come out the way you hope. There could be some miscommunication, and then it just might point to needless drama. And if you feel like what this isn't necessarily a time-sensitive thing, right, where you're not going to lose out necessarily if you wait a few weeks, then that could just be the mentality you have at this time. Let me see what else comes to mind with this. Well, and I will say that even if something does happen, it's a bit of a jolt, right? Because that's overall what the Tower energy does represent. If we look at it in the upright, it looks like there's a lot less of a chance of them landing on their feet as opposed to when it's in reverse at least. So it could just be saying that even if something a little bit shocking does occur for you guys this month, looks like you'd have a pretty good chance to land on your feet anyway. All right, in the position of your influence in the situation, we have the Justice card. So this was a card that kept coming up for you guys in recent months. Maybe not last month, but I think maybe the 2 months before that, I feel like it was coming up in this position for you. So again, could just be focusing on really trying to do what's right? Now, Libra energy for you guys is 12th house too, so you almost might be obsessively thinking about that. Now, for some of you, if you feel like there's something where there's a need to restore balance in a situation, that could have been your focus. So that could be, if you feel like you were in the wrong, you might be focused on trying to make things right in that regard. But on the flip side, if you feel like someone else was in the wrong, you might just be really digging your feet in and waiting for them to come put things back into balance. But yeah, could just be as simple as pointing to as well the fact that there's going to be all that energy that we talked about moving through Libra, which is your 12th house. Just might really have you guys in your head trying to figure out how best to move forward, but not really jumping into anything at this time. All right. In the environment position, we have the Chariot. So this is Cancer energy. And, this makes me think back to that Leo energy that we were talking about, where being in the spotlight in some way. So the environment might possibly be nudging you toward putting yourselves out in some way. But again, you just might not feel like you're ready, right? But for others of you, this could just be saying that you might be seeing things from a higher perspective too. So with all the energy in the environment, especially all the stuff going on in your 12th house, if you have been getting in your own way in some way, shape, or form, that, like I mentioned, where maybe, okay, not asking for help if you need help, but trying to make it seem like you're fine on the surface, right? Just as a generic example, things along those lines, you might be seeing them from a higher perspective, given that for you guys, Cancer energy is your 9th house, which could represent higher learning, philosophies, foreign affairs, but Could just be saying you might be seeing things from a higher perspective with that Mercury retrograde moving to your 12th house, the Mars energy, all the other stuff we talked about, the sun, right? So it could just be saying that you're looking at things through a different lens this month. And that's actually going to help you move forward, even if not this month, right? Even if you're just integrating all those lessons this month, and then you'll be able to hit the ground running when we get to Scorpio season. All right. In the hopes or fears position, we have Judgment. So this is actually a Scorpio energy for me. It represents the rebirth side of the Scorpio energy. So it could just be saying that you're hoping to actually take action, right? Maybe for some of you, you're frustrated with the lack of activity that's going on right now. And like I said, it could just be all that 12th house stuff is just overwhelming you on a mental level, but you're not quite ready to take action on those things. Like I said, that's the case. Mars and the Sun moving into your sign within a week of each other as we get closer to November. Going to be good things for you, definitely, for sure, in that area. So, don't beat yourself up too much if that's what you're feeling. The timing will be a little bit better for that. And plus, it will have the Mercury situation clearing itself out in November, too. So, there's that. But yeah, for some of you, this can be possibly around a falling out that you might have had and wanting to get that back off the ground. And if this is around legal matters as well, it could just be you hoping to see the judgment go in your favor, too. All right. And in the outcome position, we have the Six of Swords. So interesting to see all these major arcana there and then just end on a minor arcana for the outcome. I feel like this is saying that whatever's been working itself out energetically, I think your title for last month was Karma into Chaos, could just represent that energy is slowly starting to settle down. And with this energy, you could finally be seeing things more clearly and ready to move on to calmer waters, right? Just actually looking for a bit of a break from all of the chaotic energy you might have been experiencing in recent months. Let's see what else comes to mind with this. This is 4th house energy for you guys too. So could just represent, maybe spending some time with family or even just being in your home environment a bit more. Just really withdrawing from public. Like I did say, it looks like there might be some kind of a nudge toward putting you out in the public, but it looks like you might be a bit more withdrawn for the time being. Like I said, I definitely expect that to change for you guys when Mars and the Sun are in your sign. So I view that as more of a temporary thing. So if you guys are a bit worried about that, I feel like you could ride that out and see how you feel in November. But yeah, that's that. And bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Swords. So this is Gemini energy here, and I usually see this card pop up a lot during Mercury retrograde seasons which to me makes sense anyway, because given it's a Gemini card ruled by Mercury, and the horse is always moving toward the past, makes me think of Mercury itself moving backward through the zodiac. So it could just be saying that all of this stuff that's playing out here, the Mercury retrograde will play a significant role in helping you guys see what's going on and clear any confusion up. Could just also be a bit of a warning too, which is, hey, don't jump into anything too, which we did mention, where it looks like you guys are already there, where you're like instinctively, intuitively picking up on, okay, if I act now, it might not go the way I hoped, right? So it might just be more of a planning stage. But yeah, like I said, with that chariot in the environment, there might be a bit of a nudge or a push for you guys to get there. So at the very least, this would be a great time to prepare, even if you don't take the action, so that you are ready to take the action in the near future. Like I said, whether it be right when the Sun moves into your sign, or even as we get into November when you have Mars join you as well. All right, so moving on to your Oracle card, we have Soulmates. There we go. And there's the artwork, and the number is 41. All right, let's see what it says. Okay, it says harmonious partnerships, love, friendship, companionship, a relationship fostering personal growth. The Oracle's message: you are meant to evolve and transform with the companionship of others. Certain people enter into your life in order to take you to the next level of healing, consciousness, and authenticity. It is always a reciprocal experience, although the results for each of you will vary. You know these people by the strong pull drawing you toward them, and sometimes by a strong aversion to them initially too. Soulmates can be friends for life or remain in your life for only a short time. No matter what, you will be changed in ways you can't possibly fathom now. Pay attention to these people today. They are your greatest gifts. So, interesting message there because that brought me back to the fact that we did see 11th house energy come up for you guys, which, like I said, that's your groups, your friendships. So, maybe pay attention to that this month. The relationship message says consider love in the deepest sense, love so powerful that you will never be the same, regardless of how long your relationships last. Consider friendships and romantic bonds so compelling that they overwhelm you with gratitude or break you open so you will finally claim who you were meant to be. Even a companion animal reminds you that it is you who is being rescued and healed. Pay attention, for you are in the presence of a soulmate come to guide you home to the real you. So interesting message there too, because I didn't pick up on a huge romantic relationship vibe there, but I will say with the Chariot card, that could be specifically the wording there, what says "come to guide you home to the real you." That makes me think of that Chariot energy. So you might have someone in your environment that really is supposed to help with your growth in a significant way. So hopefully that resonated with you. The prosperity message says strategic alliances are most important right now as you begin to attract the perfect people to support your dreams. This is a journey you will share with others. Mentors, business partners, helpers, employees, creative partners, friends, and strangers open doors for you and step through the portal to join you in a harmonic dance of collaboration, commitment, and co-creation. This is what you've been waiting for. So definitely an interesting message there too, because I was mentioning how for some of you it might be one of those things where you might be trying to take everything on by yourselves rather than ask for help. So if that's the case, again, especially like we said with the 11th house environment too, looks like there might be some potential for positive partnerships in that regard to help you guys out with that. So hopefully that resonated too. And lastly, we have a mudra for you guys. So the mudra for this month is the Padma mudra. There it is there. Keyword for it is blossoming. And all right, let's get it to focus. There we go. Under benefits, it says weakens ego grasping, opens Anahata chakra, the heart center, settles the mind, benefits the heart and pericardium, balances the immune system, awakens the body's self-healing power, ignites spiritual devotion. So with that, and then the word blossoming, which like I said, for some of you, it could just be one of those things, all that 12th house energy might just have things bubbling up to the surface, and then finally when we see the sun and Mars move into your sign, that might be a bit more of your blossoming moment, right? So if that mudra resonated with you guys, I will put the name of it in the description of the video if you want to research that a little bit more. We'll wrap up there. Once again, happy early birthday to those of you celebrating October, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.